world champion New England Patriots.
Edelman's going to throw.
The quarterback's arm.
It's good. Intercepted.
Oh, somehow they blew the coverage.
Oh, that's a catch.
Hello, Super Bowl. We are all Patriots. And tonight,
Patriots are Super Bowl champions. The Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
Good evening, New England Patriots fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Pass Pat Podcast. I am here, Mr. Josh Fenton, as always, with my good friend Josh Valadola, Mr. Josh Valadola, hybrid 1K, JV that kid, URI dining former All-Star. How are we doing on this fine Thursday evening?
My brother, I am tired, but I'm ready to rumble. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I am ready to rumble. You know why?
Because business is booming.
Nope, because it's a great day to be great. As always, in this episode, we are going to be previewing the Miami Dolphins Week 18. That actually sounds a little weird to say, but we are going to be previewing Dolphins Week 18 football. That's right, not 17, 18. In this episode, starting off with basic logistics here. The spread is currently, the Pats are favored by 6.5, which I was a little surprised to see that, to be perfectly honest. Miami got the plus 230 money line. Over under is 40. Very low over under in this one, if you say so myself. That might be the lowest over under on this slate, to be perfectly honest. I haven't looked at too many others yet, but hey, who knows? With the injury reports, we got Kyle Duggar. He did not practice yesterday with a hand injury. This is the most up-to-date injury report we have as of right now. Everyone else besides Kyle Duggar was limited in practice. Nelson Aguilar was back at practice with a concussion. David Andrews with a shoulder. Christian Barmore, knee injury. Cody Davis with a wrist. Nick Folk with that left knee still. Damian Harris with that hamstring. Dante Hightower with the knee injury. Jacoby Myers with the thigh injury. Adrian Phillips still on the injury report with that knee injury, and Isaiah Wynn with a hip injury. As of right now, the Pats only have two players on the COVID list, being Miles Bryant and Will Sherman, who is a practice squad player for those that have no idea who that is. Moving on to the Dolphins side of the injury report, we have John Jenkins was limited with an illness. Oh, here we go. Emmanuel Ugba, good job, Josh, with a quad injury. He was also limited. Devontae Parker, load management. That's a real thing. That's what the injury report said. Load management. Veterans rest. No injury, but he was limited. Preston Williams with an illness was limited. Jesse Davis had a knee injury, but he practiced in full. Isaiah Ford had a knee injury. He also practiced in full. And Philip Lindsay had an ankle injury, but he as well also practiced in full. This is going to be an even tougher one for me to say. Noah Igbinoghene. All right, good try, Josh. And
Benogany, I think. That's pretty good, though.
I can never say some of these names. Like, I write these down. I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to say this. I, like, listen to it 10 times on YouTube. I'm like, all right, this is how you say it. Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. You know, the lights come on, the brain shuts off.
It's all good.
And Shedrick Red Wine had too much red wine and ended up on the COVID list. Anything you're really taking away from the injury report on either side here to start off?
I guess not really. The only thing that worries me, I guess, is with all the injuries, obviously you want your players, you know, well rested for the playoffs. And the thing that kind of sucks now is, you hope that you get ahead early and you can kind of put in some depth players and avoid injuries to your starters. But this is like Miami's like Super Bowl, I guess. You know what I mean? They have nothing else to play for. They're out. So I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. And I think the Pats are going to have to like actually play this game for 4 quarters.
I feel like they were going to do that anyway because I feel this season's had so many ups and downs. Bill wants to go in playing well, and I feel like he's never really been one to rest guys.
That's true,
Remember many years ago when Wes Welker tore his ACL and MCL in Week 17, and that's a very controversial subject still to this day. But he's never really been one to rest guys, even when everything seems to be locked up. Like you see Brady, like back in the day, like he would always play. Like granted. Again, nothing happened, but there was a lot of room for disaster there in that one. But I think you are right. I don't really know how this game's going to look, to be honest, because the Dolphins are eliminated. The Pats have a chance to move up, but it's a long shot. And for any scenario for the Pats to move up, it has to start with the Bills losing to the Jets, which does not sit too well on my mind for that actually happening. But, you know, stranger things have happened in this day and age, if you know what I mean. But it is still possible the Pats come out with the number 1 seed It's going to take a lot. But the Bills, Titans, Chiefs, and Bengals all have to take L's. We were just talking about this. How much do you miss that first Miami game now? Because you're in the driver's seat if you have that win. And it's not like too much else had to happen. It's just Damian Harris had to hold on to that ball.
Yeah, it's huge now. I mean, a 1-point game, and early in the season they had a couple games that like really came down to like, a 5-point difference or whatever. Yeah, I mean, you miss it, but it is what it is,
That one just really sticks out in my head because it's not like, oh, he fumbled the ball at your own 20-yard line. It's like you fumbled the ball
That was a huge turnover.
at the 10-yard line with like 3 minutes to go. That just hurts, man. It just hurts. Anyway, but like you said, you can't do anything about it. You just got to keep on keeping on. Ball is ball. Kings stay kings. What direction do you think this game's going to go in?
As in,
Like, do you think it's going to be, like, all around? Do you think this is going to be a game where guys rest? Do you think this is a game where it's like, this is almost like a week 8 type of game where there's still a lot to play for? Do you think it's going to be run heavy? Do you think Mac's going to show off? Anything?
I think the key factor really is just going to be shutting down Tua and Jalen Waddle. And if you can do that, I think that gives the Patriots a better chance to pull away from the game. But to have two similar quarterbacks in Tua and Mac, you know what I mean? They're not, like, if you go, like, through advanced statistics, they're really not that far off in terms of production-wise and the type of quarterback that they actually are, their archetype. But I think it's actually going to be kind of a closer game, to be honest.
I think you're right. Just because they've always had so much trouble playing in Miami.
That's a huge...
It's like, we can bring that up now. I had this somewhere in the show notes here, but where... All right, so the Pats have a total of a 9-12 record
At Miami?
At Miami since 2000. And for those counting at home, for those that want a little juice, some butter to put on that toast, that's when my man Billy B took over the team. What about playing in Miami is so hard? Because they've gone down there like with really good records, really good teams, and they still lose. Like I remember once, and this was many years ago. I think this was 2004. They were like 13-1 and went down there and they laid an egg. It was absolutely incredible. But why is it so hard to play down there?
I don't know how much you can, put it on like the weather change. I think it's just one of those teams that just has our number. You know what I mean? Like Denver had a few years ago. It's just tough to play in Miami. This is literally their Super Bowl. Like they mark the date on the calendar whenever they play the Patriots. So,
at home or just in general?
I think in general, but especially at home.
Well, I think it's a few things. One, so the weather change. That's like a thing because, first of all, when you go from, up here, if you see a 50-degree day, you're at the beach.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're in shorts and a t-shirt. Like I legitimately went out the other day when it was 50 in shorts. Like that was a real thing. Like people in Miami, they'd be like, "What are you, crazy?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." So I think it leads to a lot of guys going down there and getting winded. And Bill, I think, knows that. By the way, he turned up the the temperature in the field house the other day. So I don't think I think he knows this is the thing.
You're definitely right.
Yeah. In addition to that, it is a divisional game. Like, regardless of what division you're in, these games don't come easy. They know each other very well. They see each other twice a year. Brian Flores obviously knows the Pats, so that is a little more, I guess, correlated to just this specific situation, because obviously Brian Flores was not coaching the Dolphins 15 years ago. But really, I think it's those two things that just tie in together. Like, the teams know each other very well, and obviously a lot's changed since week 1, and these teams have really gone in what seems to be two different directions. It seems like for a while it looked like the Dolphins were not going to have a very good record, but they managed to pull it together and have a very respectable record and were just eliminated last week. But yeah, it is what it is. So moving on to Tua here for a second. Tua has only thrown for 300 yards once this season, week 6 versus the Jags. He was hurt for a while, so he did miss some time. Any concerns here about Tua in this one? I know you're just talking about how the advanced statistics between him and Mac look very similar. What concerns do you have going into this matchup here?
I'm just not. I mean, he hasn't. Granted, he's been hurt for a while. You know, he's kind of an injury-prone guy, but he just keeps showing, you know, time and time again, he's still kind of like that college quarterback type style, check down artist. You know, he's got his boy Jalen Waddle, and he's not a threat. You know what I mean? He's gonna take his, you know, his simple check downs, crosses. You know, I'm not threatened by him at all.
It still just blows my mind he was the top 5 pick. Like, I get it, I do understand, but I think I'm like, look, I watch him play, and I'm like, they really wasted a top 5 pick on this guy.
He has potential, and he's a winner. You know what I mean? He's the type of locker room guy you want. But like from what we've seen, it doesn't really look like he's really grown as a quarterback.
I think he lost a lot of confidence last year. I think Brian Flores pulled the trigger too early in starting him, and I think he lost a lot of confidence. And sometimes you never get it back. That's the thing.
I think Miami handled the media poorly. Because how many times was Tua involved in like trade rumors, or his name popped up that he wasn't the guy, and how many times he got benched for was it Fitzpatrick, right?
That's another thing
That's
did
nuts,
not help
dude.
him.
That sucks.
Yeah, like especially with the rookie, when you go to him, when you give him the keys to the car, you don't pull him over. I feel like you, especially when it's one thing if he's like Davis Mills or someone like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, very different situation because you're kind of going for broke there. But with Tua, I feel that they would have been better off just sticking with him the whole way rather than just almost, you know, not alternating, but switching them in and out like they were doing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I don't think that was good for Tua's confidence. And I feel like he was always looking over his shoulder thinking, am I going to get pulled? Am I going to get benched? Like, I can't make this mistake. He also said he didn't know the playbook, which is kind of insane.
When did he say that?
A while ago. He
Really?
said he didn't know the playbook, or no. I think he said he didn't know the playbook, and he also said there were times a play would be called, and he would knew it wasn't going to work, and he would just run it anyway. He wouldn't audible or anything.
It's kind of weird.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That was like before the season started. He was saying that. But I vividly remember that, and I was thinking, is this guy, why? Like, that automatically just kind of, in my mind, proved my point correct that he lost a lot of confidence there.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But you know what? It is what it is. Moving on here. So the Dolphins are ranked 32nd in pass blocking this year. Did the Pats bring pressure early and often in this one?
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, we don't have granted the best pass rush defense, but I think something that we excel at as, our linebacker core in general has done a great job. In general,
Yeah.
so I'm expecting some sacks, especially if Judon's ready to go.
I would expect him to be back to his normal workload. Only played 10 snaps last week because of obviously
I think it was
COVID.
the COVID, yeah.
Plus, load management. You didn't really need him, so why bother even taking the chance here? Dolphins are also ranked 29th in rushing in the league so far this year with a PFF grade of 63.5, but they are ranked 15th in passing with a 72.7 PFF grade. I'm really wondering how this team won 7 games in a row.
It's Tua magic, bro. He came back, put the saddle on. He said he was ready to lead his team to victory.
All
They
right.
made a nice little run, though.
Yeah. I felt very worried going into this game, but still worried, not as worried. But speaking of Tua, how do the two former Alabama quarterbacks go against each other in this one?
I think it's probably going to be a lot like last game, to be honest. Hey, if we get the run game going, maybe Mac doesn't throw 35 times or more. But, I mean, maybe Damian Harris is on that load management type thing. Maybe they alternate with Bolden and Ramondre Stevenson. Maybe we see another repeat of last week where we see Mac kind of extend his knowledge of the playbook and they try some new things. But I think it's probably going to be similar to last game, to be honest.
I genuinely don't know if Damian Harris plays in this game.
That's a legitimate possibility.
I think that's a very real concern. I don't even know if it's a concern. I just think it's something to account for any of you fantasy managers still playing in Week 18. I think about it. The Pats have the 5th seed locked up. Like, that's not going to move. I don't see a reason to play him, to be honest. Because what if he's clearly he's shown he can re-aggravate that.
Yeah, he's not 100%.
So why bother?
Yeah, true.
Like at the end of the day. Dolphins rank 7th here in overall defense, 5th in run defense, 13th in pass rush. What does this mean for Mac and the Pats O-line in this one?
I think we'll be just fine, man.
Why do you say that?
I'm not worried about the pass rush.
You're not worried? Ooh, brother.
They got some dogs out there, so.
Woof. So I was thinking about this when I was putting this together. Is this part 2 of the get right game? Like, you know what I mean? This could very well be a part 2 to build some momentum going into the playoffs. Could they continue to build momentum here moving forward into week 19?
Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't, get amped off just winning in general? You know what I mean? 2-win streak. You just got to go. It's nice to go into the playoffs on a positive note.
I completely agree. Like, how many teams have you seen lose the last 3 regular season games and go into the playoffs and just sputter out?
Yeah. Yeah. Great teams have gone, maybe lost 2, 3, 4 games. Great seasons. They get bounced the first round. That's just not New England style we just lost a game, but, we got the playoffs. That's not the Bill mindset.
Nope. And nope. Pats defense ranks 3rd in total yards per game with 311.6, 3rd in takeaways with 30, 1st in scoring with 16.9 PPG. Dolphins offense bottom 12 basically across the board with the exception of their passing yards slotting in at 15. Do they lean on the defense here in this one?
Yeah, absolutely. They kind of have leaned on the defense and the run game all year, but the defense is definitely the strength of the Pats.
I would completely agree. I can't see all of a sudden in week 18, Bills all of a sudden you know what? Let's go. Mm-hmm. Let's open up everything. Training wheels are off. I just can't see that happening at this point for a number of reasons. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does next year. Because it's
in terms of
with Mac, because the narrative will be he's a rookie, give him time to learn this and that. It's all right, dude, you've been in this system for a couple of years now.
True.
It's time to be great, top 15 pick. And I think him of all the rookie quarterbacks, I think will have the least excuse or the least amount of an excuse because all those guys, they're in awful situations. The Jets, the death sentence, the Jaguars, they have more problems than I can count. I mean, Justin Fields, I guess, isn't in a terrible, terrible situation. It could be not ideal, but compared to those other 2 I just named, he's in a much better situation. I guess Trey Lance is in a pretty solid situation. He just doesn't play.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I think so too.
Behind Mac, you can even make an argument that Trey Lance is in the best situation. An argument, but he doesn't play. So obviously, for his own personal beliefs and career, he's not in the best situation. But from everything I've seen, he should be taking over the.
Yeah, that's why he played last game.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy was also hurt.
That's what happened?
Yeah, he got hurt.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he
what
got
happened?
Hurt. Something with his thumb. Yeah. He was kind of I'm not going to play. And then he's like, you know what? YOLO, I'm going to fire it up. And then he was like, JK, no YOLO, not firing it up.
Not booming.
Business unbooming. So, I feel like every single one of these we've talked about how we think this game's going to go. And it's always lean on the defense, lean on the run game, pound the rock. I feel like people who are watching this, I think we're being very repetitive, but we're right every time.
That's their scheme. That's literally their scheme.
So I think that's how this is going to go, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can't see a world where I'm wrong. That's the thing. I just can't see all of a sudden Josh McDaniels just saying 4 verticals, everyone go. Mac, find him. There's just not a place in my mind where that scenario exists.
Yeah, if something's not broke, don't fix it.
Not that it was ever really fixed. It's kind of like when something breaks and you just put a Band-Aid over it and glue it down. You're like, that'll stay for a little while. That's kind of how I envision this season so far. It's just let's just keep on keeping on as long as we can. And then, as I've heard so many times from so many people, next year's the year. We're coming back. We're going to do it. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, we still got a ways.
Still got a ways to go. Still got an off-season to go. Still hoping we get that alpha dog. Also interesting. Here's something interesting I wanted to ask you. What do you think they do at linebacker after this year? I think that's a very legit
that's a huge
concern.
Question. Hightower, Collins. I've never been a big fan of Bentley. I guess the obvious answer is they're going to go into the draft. They love drafting linebackers. Maybe we see a little bit more Cam McGrone and moving up the depth chart. If I knew what the free agent market would look like, I think I would have a better answer, to be honest.
We'll come back to this in a couple weeks.
Yeah. But, yeah, we might see some big changes, honestly.
I think the thing is, it's not unrealistic Jamie Collins leaves. It's not unrealistic Dante Hightower retires. Mm-hmm. That leaves a very big hole in that defense.
Yeah, Van Noy's locked up for 2-3 more years?
I honestly can't remember off the top of my head.
Something like that. He'll be back next year, I believe.
Let's see. I thought it was a 2-year deal.
So we have Cam McGrone. I think Vinovich is...
It was a 2-year deal. I was right.
Okay, so it's next year. So he's back
this year and next year.
Mm-hmm. Vinovich, what does he have, that option that should not be picked up?
I don't think he has an option. Why would he have an option?
Usually rookies have...
It's only the first rounder.
I did not know that. I don't know why.
Only the first rounder gets the 5th-year option.
Oh, thank God, dude. He should not come back.
He doesn't play.
He's just a disappointment, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know, I guess, exactly what's going on. He just... I guess, not the blind eye, but for face value, I haven't seen him really produce.
Yeah. Partially because he hasn't been on the field.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's probably a reason he hasn't been on the field.
I mean, all the linebackers that play are better than him.
Yeah.
So, we could see some big changes.
Does Mac win Rookie of the Year? Offensive Rookie of the Year.
You know what? It's tough to say. I changed my answer since the last time you texted me because, yes, he did. He was a huge, whether you believe it or not, he's a big part of why the Pats turned around and why they went from, a playoff-less team led by Cam to now they're, actually in the playoffs. And he's done a good job at playing the system, and the quarterback is the leader of the team. Also, Jamar Chase is having a phenomenal season. Like you said, he's having a great season whether he's a rookie or not. Mac is having... Honestly, you look at Justin Herbert's rookie year, that is a far more impressive rookie year than Mac Jones's. So, before I was kind of leaning towards Mac, it still could be Mac just because it's a quarterback-driven award. Usually MVP awards are. I'm going to go with Jamar Chase.
I completely agree. And I get what you're saying because obviously... In hindsight, Mac wasn't upgrade from Cam. Mac's done a lot, not turning the ball over, really being fundamentally sound, really leading this team. But like we were talking about the other day, when you talk about Mac Jones's year, you say he's going to be great. He can be great. There's almost an asterisk next to it.
Because he's a rookie.
But you look at Jamar Chase, you say, this guy's a stud, now, right this second, this guy's a stud, top 5, and you can make a legit argument he's a top 5 receiver in the NFL this year.
Absolutely,
a legit argument. He could very well go over 1,500 yards next week, which is insane.
That's nuts. He already broke the rookie record.
What was the rookie record?
I think it was 1,400 flat by Justin Jefferson last year.
He is over that. A lot of people thought that record was going to stand for a while, and it did not. And he didn't even need the extra game to do it, which is very impressive. Granted, he did need $266 bills from Joey B on Sunday against the Chiefs to get it done. Did you see that cut he made on that first touchdown pass he cut?
Oh, my God.
My God.
Vision, bro.
Talk about a great day to be great. If he did that to me, he made that cut on me, I would have torn both my ACLs right then and there. That's not even debatable. Anyway, wrapping up here, final score predictions. What do you got for me, Jay Smooth?
24-10, Pats.
I'm going to go 27-14, Pats. I got the keys to the game here. Don't get fancy. Lean on the defense. Build confidence. Lean on the run game. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Nothing. Let's just end the year on a good note.
End the year on a good note and keep on keeping on right into the playoffs. We will be back to recap this game as well as whoever the Pats end up drawing in the playoffs in the first round. Make sure to make sure to subscribe. If you haven't yet, what are you doing? It's absolutely free to do so, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.